Alright, I am recording this the day after the game because I did not have time to record it immediately after. I had a bunch of other stuff to do, so I apologize because this is going to be a little late. I'm hoping I can get it out before 9 a.m. We'll see. But, what did I tell you? I said in predictions, this is the kind of game the Steelers usually win. They drop two games that they maybe shouldn't have, and then they go out, play a really good team, and they win. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. The NFL doesn't make sense. And that's exactly what happened. The Steelers beat the Colts 27-20, and in all honesty, the final score was a lot closer than the actual game was. Now, I'm not saying the Steelers absolutely dominated, because in all honesty, they didn't. I mean, the Colts, they had more total yards. Yards per play were higher. Because the Steelers really didn't do anything on offense. The difference maker in this game was the Colts turned the ball over 6 times. The Steelers forced 6 turnovers, 5 on defense, 1 on special teams. Now, in all honesty, the 1 special teams was just a complete gaffe by the returner, but still, they forced 6 turnovers. So, that was the difference maker in this game. And as a result, with the Colts trailing for a majority of the game, the Steelers were able to shut down Jonathan Taylor pretty dang hard. He had 14 touches for only 45 yards, and he didn't score a touchdown for what feels like the first time in an eternity. With that being said, I do want to shout out a couple players on defense, specifically Alex Highsmith and Peyton Wilson. Those two were spectacular yesterday. Alex Highsmith was all over in Danny Dimes' face, and he looked flustered ever since that first drive ended, where the Colts went down, scored a touchdown. They converted 2 fourth-down conversions, which we'll get to here in a bit. Alex Highsmith was all over Daniel Jones. And Alex Highsmith even got injured early in that game, but they taped up his ankle, and he was able to resume playing, and he was dominant. He was forcing pressure. He made Daniel Jones uncomfortable, and he played great. I think he even had a sack or 2. I don't quite remember. I think he had 2 sacks, come to think of it. But yeah, he played great. And Peyton Wilson, second-year linebacker, he also played great. Maybe his best game as a pro. He had a couple deflected passes where he batted 1 in the air and it was intercepted by Jack Sawyer. He was at the right place at the right time. And then he even recovered one, if I'm not mistaken. He even recovered one and took it back to like the 10-yard line, and the Steelers ended up scoring on their drive. But yeah, that was the main difference maker. Those two played great. The Steelers were forcing turnovers. They made Daniel Jones uncomfortable. And where has this pressure been all season long? That was the difference maker, was the Steelers were winning up front after that first drive, after that first quarter, really, because that first quarter did not look good for the Steelers. And I don't have many complaints with this game. I guess if I had to pick something to complain about, it would be how really inefficient the offense was. The offense wasn't great today, and they really got, I think, maybe all of their points off the turnovers. I think maybe they only got 24 of the 27 points. But, the Steelers, they were working the short field, so that's part of the reason why the Colts had more total yards. But, I don't know how much stock I can put into this game. Yeah, it's a great win. But, the Steelers, they're not going to be forcing 6 turnovers every game. They're just not. So, I don't really know where you can go with this. And I don't know what to make of this game. TJ Watt, he had a sack. Keanu Benton, he had a sack where he made a really good swim move on the lineman. The Steelers, they were just in the backfield all game. Forced 3 interceptions from Daniel Jones. And, most of the Colts' points were scored in garbage time, at least 10. So, I mean, in all honesty, this game is a lot closer than it seems. But yeah, I mean, overall, the defense, I don't have many complaints. They put Jalen Ramsey at safety because the Steelers were very thin at safety. No Deshaun Elliott, no Jabril Peppers. There are probably other names I'm forgetting back there. You know, so they put Jalen Ramsey at safety, which isn't totally uncommon. A lot of times you'll see older cornerbacks get put at safety through the end of their career. Jalen is 31, so it made sense to try him at safety. I mean, he missed some tackles here and there, but overall I thought he was okay. Porter, oh man, what do I say about Porter? I wish Porter could cover a guy and not take a penalty. That would be amazing. I would love that. But unfortunately, he's just a handsy player, and he's gonna get flagged. That's just who he is. And so, I know I've described this team as archaic in the past. However, there is one good thing about that. The Steelers don't take many penalties. And they didn't here in this game, and they haven't for most of the season. And that's one of the things that veterans are good at, is not taking penalties. This is Porter's third year, and he's still taking penalties. That's gotta change. I guess I can move on to the offense. I thought the offense was fine for the most part, man. But as I said, the offense, they didn't really do much because they didn't have to do much. So again, I don't really know how much stock you can really put into this game, just because the Colts were just so bad. It really honestly looked like the Colts were more bad than the Steelers were good. Because as I said, they ran away from their identity. They didn't give Jonathan Taylor enough carries. Even though he had 14, but for 45 yards, but they only gave him 4 carries on the first 3 drives of the game. So they really just strayed away from their identity, if you ask me. And I think that is ultimately what helped the Steelers a lot. But I mean, if you look at this game, you could see that the Colts were still gaining yards. I mean, a lot of these turnovers came around midfield, maybe a bit further down. So the Colts were driving on the Steelers, and it was, again, a lot of out routes. The Colts ran a lot of out routes, and that's what's been beating this defense, and they had moderate success with it today. So, yeah, I mean, just the defense has to be better in terms of, blocking down receivers. But if the front 7 can get 2 quarterbacks like they did today, it shouldn't be a huge concern, but they haven't been for a majority of the season. So I don't know if this is just a one-off or if this is, what we're going to see for the rest of the season. Anyways, I guess that's really all I really have to say. I don't have much else to say because, as I said, I watched the game yesterday, so a lot of it is kind of fuzzy. I don't remember a lot of what happened. I apologize. This is going to be a later video. But trade deadline is Tuesday. We'll see what the Steelers do. They already made a trade for a safety. I made a short on that. We'll see if they do anything else. I mentioned that maybe they could grab a wide receiver too, but I don't know how much that would truly help them because Steelers use jumbo set a lot. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think I'd like to see maybe another safety because the Steelers are really thin there right now. We'll see what happens. But they play the Chargers next week in SoFi Stadium. Hopefully the Steelers can keep up the good juju. We'll see what happens. Don't die.